Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm speaking with Jason Geiman about pressure washing and how he got into this business. So Jason, if you just want to take a few seconds to elaborate on this.
So I got started in this business in 2012. I was a full-time firefighter at the time, and I needed extra money. And so that's how I started as a side business of starting a pressure washing business. From when I started the business in 2012 and when I sold it in 2018, we were doing just north of $1 million per year in doing pressure washing and Christmas lights, were my two services that were my main services.
Awesome, awesome. So why did you get into this business? What inspired you to get into this?
So it was one of those things, as a fireman, you don't make a lot of money. And so I decided that I wanted to do something that I can make money on my off days. And so that's why I got started, so that I could have money for vacations. And we were in pretty much debt. So it was to get out of debt, also.
Okay, and is it just you running the business, or do you have like a team of people doing this with you? Is there an industry that you really focus on?
So there is when I was doing $1 million, I had about 8 to 10 employees, depending on what time of the year it was. In Christmas time, we had a little bit more. We were running 3 to 4 trucks per day for pressure washing. And there is an industry. We do all of, like, a lot of house washing, roof cleaning. It's all of that kind of stuff. There's other parts of pressure washing that you could do, but I mainly focused on getting a lot of apartment complexes and doing a lot of the commercial side of work, which that going to kind of tie into where we're going to hit here shortly, talking about sales.
Yes, and I want to get right into sales. So I know there's different avenues you can take. There's like the pure cold calling avenue. There's like different types of marketing. How did you get this thing going from scratch?
So from scratch, we were way back in the day of, shoot, I can't even think, Groupon and things that I highly don't recommend at all. But, there was some boots on the ground guerrilla marketing of, yard signs, and yard signs still works today. But the big thing that got me a lot of my commercial work, obviously we did AdWords. We did a lot of the normal stuff that we talk about, Google My Business for the local side of businesses, making sure we're ranking in the maps. But for the apartment complexes and our larger jobs, that's where we started doing a lot of email marketing and
Oh,
LinkedIn. And I know you might think, who would think that a pressure washer would use LinkedIn to get jobs? But honestly, LinkedIn is killer for getting pressure washing jobs, because you're able to meet and you're able to search and you're able to do things with LinkedIn that, you can't get those people. For instance, you can go on LinkedIn and find the owner of businesses. We can find facility managers. We can do anything along those ways. And then it's just a matter of, how do we follow up with those people? How do we, are we commenting on their stuff so they know who we are at the end of the day?
yeah, and LinkedIn's great for commercial. That's the buzzword. It's commercial, right? And facilities managers, same thing for commercial real estate. So I'm sure there's like a bit of that crossover happening. And facilities managers, I find them to be very open, to be honest. Like they're very open, very casual. It's not like speaking to a CFO or a CEO. I just find them to be more receptive to this type of thing. Do you find the same?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because facility managers, they want their job easier, and if they're on LinkedIn, they can make their job easier because then they know the right person to be able to fix the problems that they have, or they fix the problems that they may need to be done. The thing about the commercial side is it's not one of these that you can just get on LinkedIn and think that it's just going to work from day one. It's a thing that we have to work it, right? We have to go in and we have to follow these people. We have to find out who these people are. We have to go in and comment on their stuff, and we have to post stuff. And a lot of people think that I'm just going to do it. The guys that I teach now that are successful in this, they've been doing this for 2-3 years, and they're getting $100,000 jobs, pressure washing jobs, $200,000 guy. I had a guy last year that got over right at a $200,000 pressure washing job just from a LinkedIn lead.
I believe it. I believe it. It's all the follow-up. So you're doing basically what you're saying is you find your leads on LinkedIn, then you cold call them, and then you follow up, and then you stay in touch, and then eventually something closes. Am I right?
Not even so much cold calling. And I know you're like the cold calling queen, but it's one of those things of just, you're posting on, the guy that I know, he's posting 2-3 times a week on his stuff, just showing pressure washing stuff, and then he's commenting on their stuff. So we are kind of calling, we're commenting on their stuff, right? Because
Yes.
then they know that, hey, this guy is actually commenting on everything that I post, and that's what we're wanting to do is, and then that build that relationship. And then he actually got one job that this guy was in a meeting with this other woman, and he was able to, this lady's like, man, I need somebody to clean my roller coasters. And he's like, I got the guy on LinkedIn. And so he
Right.
ended up doing, $120,000 worth of roller coaster cleaning just by knowing this person, which knew this person. And it was a great mix of getting that done.
That's amazing. And what would you tell people who are trying to get into the business? Like, what's the sales cycle? How long is the sales cycle?
For pressure washing, the sales cycle on the residential side isn't that long. Like you can get moving and get going pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Usually it's how do we get in front of people, right? That's what it comes down to. How do we get in front of them? Whether they're on search and we're on Google and we're doing it that way, they're driving around, we're using, yard sounds, we're doing door knocking. There's all different kinds of ways that you can grow a pressure washing business. It's just a matter of finding which way works best for you and being consistent, right?
Yeah,
It
for
doesn't
sure.
matter what we're talking about. If you're not consistent, if we're going to do one thing one day and quit it next, then it's not going to work for you at all. It don't matter if we're talking LinkedIn, AdWords, whatever. You got to be consistent, and you got to do it when you're tired. You got to do it when you don't want to do it. It's got to be done over and over and over, and the consistencies is what will grow your business.
100%, absolutely. So what makes you different from your competitors out there doing the same thing?
So I've actually grown my business to $1 million. And a lot of because I'm actually in the teaching space now. I don't actually run the pressure washing business since I sold it. So I actually teach people. And so one thing that I've done is I've actually done it. And a lot of people get into this and they've never actually done it. And so, having to deal with employees and, all the stories you get to deal with employees, and people don't always believe it. But when you're in it, it's a whole nother thing of, wow, these employees can drive you crazy. Or the sales process, right? How do you
Right.
close sales? How do you answer the phone when the phone is being, that angry customer? That's another thing with sales, right? The number one thing that will make a pressure washing or any business successful is you answer your phone. How many
Right.
people you know that don't answer their phone? And communication, consistency and communication are the two things that are key. And you don't even have to be the best pressure washer. You don't even have to be the best whatever you're at. If you have communication and consistency, you will win every time.
I love it. Thank you so much for this chat. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.